Good morning, everybody. Bore da pawb, mae'n bleser mawr I fod yma heddi I weld sio gymaint ohonoch chi yma yn Llundain. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Welsh language, my native tongue, I've just said you good morning. It's a great pleasure to see so many of you here in London. As you can see, Welsh is completely different to English. Welsh is the language that was spoken on this island when the Romans were here. English is the descendant language of the language spoken by the people who came after the Romans left. Indeed, the word Wales means the land of the foreigners in the Anglo-Saxon language. In the Welsh language, England is rendered as Lloegr, which means the lost land. But before any of you get too worried, I can say the Welsh Government has no current plans to recover the lost land by military force. But thank you for that introduction. I'm delighted to be here today at the opening ceremony. I'd like to congratulate everyone in ICANN and the wider community on achieving this milestone 50th conference. In this year when so much is changing in the world of domain names, I'm thrilled that Wales will finally have a natural home on the web, or to be more precise, we will in fact have two homes from September, .wales and .cymru. Cymru is Wales in the Welsh language, to reflect the bilingual nature of Welsh culture and society. I know this is an international audience, and that many of you may not know much about Wales and its place in the UK. Wales is one of the four constituent nations of the UK state. There are only 3 million of us, but nevertheless we very much cherish the fact that we have an autonomous government within the UK, and of course independence in sport, particularly when it comes to rugby and football. I can't say too much about England's World Cup performance. But all I can say is I know that England didn't qualify for the final stages this year for the first time since 1958. It's not too bad, because 1958 was the last time we qualified for the World Cup. when we got to the quarter-final and lost to Brazil 1-0. We are a Celtic country, like our cousins in Scotland and Ireland, and that identity has always differentiated us from our very large neighbour in England. But nevertheless, of course, we're very much firmly a part of the United Kingdom. Like many small countries, we also have a fierce pride in our history, in our language, in our culture. There's a strong and vibrant Welsh identity which plays an important role in the politics, economy and culture, indeed, of the UK. There's also a widespread diaspora of Welsh migrants and their descendants right across the globe who continue to identify with Wales. In an increasingly globalized world, having a sense of identity, of course, becomes ever more important. The internet allows us to make connections that go beyond our local neighborhoods and even beyond our country's borders, allowing individuals to develop their personal identity in whatever manner they see fit. Names are an important part of how we communicate our identity to each other. And that's why I'm so pleased that from September we will be able to register domain names that end in .wales and .cymru. We'll finally have a way of using our websites and email addresses to reflect the identity we feel in our hearts. And that's why I'm also pleased to announce here today that the Welsh Government will be moving our online presence from gov.uk to the new domains as part of our renewal of how we serve and interact with citizens in Wales. Now, I've talked a bit about the history of Wales, but today Wales has a growing economy that's open to the world. Historically, our economy was based on coal mining, particularly up to about 50 years ago, on steel making. But we're investing in our communications infrastructure so that by the spring of 2016, 96% of properties will have access to fast-speed broadband, fibre broadband. We've also recently announced that Cardiff will be getting its own internet exchange point, so we no longer have to rely on links to London and Manchester. We're attracting and supporting investment from some of the biggest names in aerospace, financial services and the creative industries, whilst of course still supporting the development of our homegrown SMEs, which account for the vast majority of the Welsh economy. I'm sure that the new domains will offer a powerful new platform for the Welsh brand on the international stage. I'm delighted that Nominet have invested in developing .wales and .cymru. They've also teamed up with Gwynedd Council to provide bilingual customer support in a great example of cooperation between the private and public sectors. With the amount of goodwill behind these new domains, I'm certain that they will be successful, and I want to applaud once again ICANN for taking the necessary steps to open up the domain name systems in a way that allows countries like Wales to build a home online. Could I wish you all the best for the event today? Thank you for your time, and could I wish you all the greatest of success in the future. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much.